Hey y'all, since September 23rd, 2022, there's no way that date is right. I've been using these AirPods Pro 2 every single day. Now this is without a doubt one of my most used tech products of all time, so I wanted to give you guys a super crazy long-term review of these things after using them for almost 1,000 days. And my journey with these hasn't been entirely easy. This is my second pair of AirPods Pro 2, so if you want to hear that story, go ahead and stick around. So starting with design, and of course this is something that Apple rarely gets wrong. While the AirPods Pro 2 look almost identical to the first generation, the case itself is where things get a little bit interesting. And one thing that's incredible about the case is it packs a few really useful features that I now genuinely cannot live without. And the first thing is a matter of convenience. It's really not a big deal, but it's USB-C. And of course, it's a small change. It's just the charging port. It really doesn't matter. And you're right. But as somebody who travels with a lot of different devices all the time, it is so convenient having one cable that can charge literally all of my devices. It's really just a quality of life improvement, but it's one that really affects you a little more than you would think it would. Now, my favorite part of this case is actually the speakers at the bottom of it. And while these speakers may look incredibly tiny, which they are, they play a really loud sound, which makes it extremely easy to locate these using the Find My network. And this case is super slippery. It has a knack for falling out of my shorts and my pants at least once a week and embedding itself into my couch cushions. And even if I've lost my AirPods and they're in a completely different room of the house, just finding them off of the sound this case makes is extremely easy. And honestly, if I still have the AirPods Pro 1s, I would consider upgrading just for this feature. And another nice little quality of life feature is the fact that we have a little space for a lanyard here. And it's a very nice inclusion for people that want to make their case a little bit more secure. And fun fact for you guys, this little loop area actually houses the U1 chip, which makes the Find My functionality so effective with the AirPods. So of course we have to talk about sound quality. And the AirPods Pro 2 have never once disappointed me. I think the audio quality is exceptional, and I feel like it's quite rare to find headphones, especially little tiny earbuds, that handle such a wide variety of different music genres so well. And as somebody who listens to literally thousands of hours of music each year, let me tell you, these things are awesome. I've never once felt that the audio quality was lacking or the clarity wasn't good. Now the bass isn't going to shake your skull like the classic skull candies from when I was in high school, and I would even say that the Beats earbuds have a little bit better bass, but for the overall package, it's punchy, it's present, and I would say it's really well balanced, which is not easy to do. And most importantly, it doesn't overpower the mids and the highs, which a lot of the more bass-heavy earbuds tend to do. One of the best parts of the AirPods Pro 2 is transparency mode, and it always amazes me how clear the pass-through is. You tend to forget that you're actually wearing earbuds because it just feels so seamless. And what's incredible is it's so clear and so instantaneous. It almost confuses my brain sometimes because the audio is instant. And it makes having conversations incredibly easy, and you're able to stay aware of your surroundings, which is always a huge plus. And then of course, on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have ANC, or active noise cancellation, and it's also really, really high quality. Now, I've taken multiple flights with these, and it perfectly cancels out the noise of the plane, that little hum that you get when you're in the air. You can't hear any of that. In fact, all but the loudest or most rumbliest sounds are pretty much eliminated with these, and it makes long journeys on planes, trains, cars, so much better. So speaking of long listening sessions, the battery life on these things have been very, very consistent. I often get around 6 hours of playtime on the pods on a single charge, and the case recharges the pods so quickly, you never really have to worry about running out of battery. All you have to do is really just pop them in for a few minutes while you grab coffee or run to the bathroom or whatever you might be doing, and you're ready for several more hours of audio paradise. Who wrote this? But honestly, one of my favorite features of the Pro 2s, and if you have the Pro 1s, this might be worth an upgrade on its own, is the inline audio controls on this stem. Now these work so perfectly for adjusting your audio, I honestly don't know if I could live without this feature at this point. You get a nice little audio click feedback when you adjust the volume or skip tracks. It's so much more convenient being able to adjust the audio right on the pods themselves than having to dig your iPhone out of your pocket or even using your Apple Watch. It's wonderful. Now, if you guys remember back to the intro, I said not everything has been perfect with the Pro 2s, and that is absolutely true. So this is my second pair. And let me tell you what happened with the first ones. So I had the first ones since launch day, and a couple months ago, they actually broke catastrophically. And unfortunately, it was past the point where AppleCare would cover the repair because they were already over 2 years old at that point. My original AirPods Pro 2 completely fell apart from using them a little bit too much. That leads me to one of my major complaints with the AirPods in general, is they are not repairable in any kind of way. And the fact that I had to buy a completely new pair of AirPods just because the glue failed on my original ones really upsets me. And honestly, this should not happen to $250 earbuds. And I did try to fix my original AirPods Pro 2, but unfortunately, even putting a little bit of super glue around the edges didn't really make a difference because that seal had already been broken, and the audio quality was failing on that one AirPod. It was really a bad time. And it is really frustrating to me that AirPods and other wireless Bluetooth earbuds in general are not repairable. And once the battery dies on these things or they get damaged in any way, they're essentially useless. And I understand that given the size, the style, and the complexity of earbuds in general, it's very difficult to build them in a way that allows them to be repairable. And I do think it's something that's worth considering whether you're buying AirPods Pro or any other kind of wireless earbuds. Eventually, they will just end up in a landfill because you won't be able to fix them. But getting back to the more positive side of things, as a self-proposed AirPods Pro power user, there are a few things on my wish list for the AirPods Pro Gen 3s, which will hopefully launch later this fall. First up on my wish list for the AirPods Pro 3, better battery life. Now, the current battery life is great, as I mentioned earlier, but I'm pretty sure Apple's genius engineers are cooking up something good for us, and I would love for them to find a way to squeeze even more battery life out of the same form factor. If we could hit that 7 to 8 hour mark with AirPods Pro 3, that'd be beautiful. And second on my list, you guys, is either a new form factor or at the very least a new material choice. So I've got a bold prediction for the AirPods Pro 3. I think they're going to go with an all aluminum design. Crazy prediction, I know. Go ahead and clip me. I think they're going aluminum. Is that based on any kind of facts? Not even a little. When you think about it though, aluminum would be a really good choice for AirPods. It's lightweight, it's very durable. It would definitely be easier to recycle, which is something that Apple has talked about before. And plus, I have a feeling that the AirPods Pro 3 are going to be about $275, maybe $300. So having a premium material like aluminum on them would be a good product differentiator and would help them justify that price a little bit more in their marketing. So we'll see if they do aluminum or not. And last on my wish list, you guys, is I would love for Apple to rework the ear tips. Now, for most activities, they're perfectly fine. For me specifically, if I'm talking or I'm eating with the AirPods Pro 2, they tend to fall out of my ears, and that really frustrates me. And I've tried every single ear tip size. I've tried ear tips from other manufacturers, still have the same issue. For whatever reason, they just pop right out of my little ear holes. So there we have it, guys. That is my almost 1,000 day experience with the AirPods Pro Gen 2. And despite that one unfortunate incident with my original pair, I'm still a humongous fan of these earbuds. They are fantastic. They've got a great sound. I love the transparency mode, the ANC. They really never disappoint. And given that these have been out for so long at this point, I really think we're going to see the Gen 3s later this fall. So fingers crossed for that. Anyways, guys, I'm Dan. I do tech every day. YouTube thinks that you'll enjoy one of these 2 videos floating above my head here. So I'll see you in one of those. Catch you next time. Peace.